So I spent today in my bed mostly watching Dr. House because a friend recently, well, at this point it's been like a month, finished all of the seasons. I dropped my towel. Oh my god, you still can't see me. And they were sad that they didn't have anybody to talk to about it. And so I came over to their house and I watched 4 episodes because I had to leave pretty early again. And then I just kept watching it because it's a fairly simple show with the same premise in kind of every episode. So it's easy to throw on when you don't really have anything else to do or to fall asleep, which I have been doing. And so this entire day that I've spent in my bed, I've had one singular big-ass fly in my room that was being the most annoying a fly can be. And it kept flying around my face and my legs. Oh my god, I dropped my thing. Ugh. And then just now I'm downstairs finishing a bit of dishwashing. And another fly freaking flies around my head, and they keep trying to land on my face and sit on my hair, and it's I'm not your guy, okay? I don't want to do that. Go away. Sorry. And then in the kitchen the same thing happens, and my question is, why am I that disgusting? Am I that disgusting that 1 million flies want to sit on me all the time? Or maybe it's the same fly who just really likes me. Anyway, I think he was trying to be friends. Trying to be friendly. Oh yeah, I also promised to tell you why I dyed my hair brown. It's because, I was getting kind of unhappy with being fully blue. It's not a bad color or anything. I like it, but I've discovered that full head of hair in one color just isn't my thing. Hello? Oh my god, I'm trying to close this new necklace that a friend gifted me. Ooh, it's turquoise. What was this rock called? I forget. But it's so hard to close because this thing, do you see how small it is? It has the tiniest hook on the side, and I can't with one hand open it and then keep it open. I did it once and then I had to take it off. Anyway, I got new ID pictures taken, and because I was slightly unhappy with having fully blue hair, I was I don't want this to be on my ID picture for the next 10 years because I don't know how long that ID could be kept for, Oh my god, I gotta place my phone down somewhere, but everything is full of stuff. And so I don't want my ID picture to be me with a fully blue head of hair, even though it looked fine. I thought it looked good, but I just didn't like it that much. But yeah, and then I dyed my hair brown again, after being at a medieval festival / market for a week, where I also slept in a tent and dressed up like a Viking because that's what we're doing. Because the place where I live used to be inhabited by Vikings for 100 years, more than that, but and it used to be a Viking land. Yeah, and so then they didn't care that I had blue hair. The accuracy doesn't have to be 100%, obviously. In front of tourists and stuff, you're supposed to just visually show the look of like a Viking settlement camp thing. And they didn't care that I had blue hair. They were like, it's literally fine. We're also just here to have fun. Because it's like a vacation. People take vacations to do that stuff and they own those tents. You know, it's like their hobby. It's not really LARPing. Because when you're with the other people, you're not like pretending to be Vikings. Like you just look like it. But it's not like, it's just in front of tourists where you're like not allowed to use modern technology, you know, or walk around in modern clothes. But it's also not like super strict. It's like if you have like it was raining the entire week. Our place where people were walking, it was mud like this deep. And at some point you can't walk with just leather shoes or the wood carved shoes because those hurt like hell. I tried to be as faithful as possible to, I prefer when it's in that direction, to be as faithful as possible to the real Vikings and their footwear. But once the dirt went through my leather shoes and my 3 pair of wool socks that I would wear daily to not get cold on top of each other, and then I wore the wooden shoes for like 3 or 4 days, and my foot started hurting so bad, like both my feet, and I think I broke a toe. Genuinely, I think one is broken. But like since it's a toe, it doesn't really matter, but it still hurts, like if you bend it, you know? And then at some point I just put on boots. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I'm getting my ID hold on. I got new ID pictures taken. And then after the medieval market, when I got home on Sunday at like 10:30, because we started packing up at 4 p.m. on Sunday, which gives you an idea of just how much work there is, which like setting up the tents and then taking them down again, it takes, genuinely, it'd be better if it took a whole day, but on Sunday, the like tourist part of the market, because it's like a tourist attraction, people come here to see this market. Because it's like, it's been a staple of the city for like almost 30 years. And so we have to like clean up, but we can only start usually at 6 p.m. But because the organizers were scared of another like super heavy rainfall on Sunday, which would totally ruin everything for us. Because, dude, trying to like set up or take everything home while it's like pouring down on you is pretty damn hard. And so we got special permission to start packing up at 4 p.m., 2 hours early, so everybody could get their shit done in time before like the next flood came out of the sky. And even then it took, I was gone early because it's in my hometown, and nobody wanted to force me to, from my hometown at 10:30 p.m., drive half an hour to where they keep most of their tents, and then put everything into the, like, I don't know, it's not a warehouse, but it's like I've never been there. I'm pretty new to the group. This is my first year at the market. But yeah, and they have to like put all that shit into like a big wooden warehouse. And that took like another long ass time. And the other friend of mine that lives by car 30 minutes from here, that's like next town over where I also go to school, he went with them to the other village to put all the tents away. And then he came home at like 2 a.m. after having eaten at like a random doona place. So yeah, so they didn't want to make me do that because they knew that I had an appointment directly on Monday at 11 a.m. And they were like, we're not going to make you drive with us so that you can come home at like 3 a.m. For your appointment the next day. I was like, thank you. Because I had to get pictures taken for my ID. And over the phone, they told me we can just do it here in the building. We have a photographer. And I'm like, that's great. But I was still blue. And if you remember from like 5 minutes ago, I told you that I didn't want the picture on my ID to be me with blue hair because I don't like it that much and I don't want it to be on there forever. And so on like the week before, sorry man, I just had to pee and I didn't want to film while doing that. Where was I? Oh yeah. And then, so I got home at 10:30 p.m. And mind you, I had my backpack full of dirty clothes, another bag full of pillows, because if I'm going to be sleeping in a tent on a fucking military field bed, which by the way, that's like 3 times this shape on the floor, that's the legs of the bed, made of metal, the frame is metal, and it's like this wide, where you would barely fit on it, okay? It barely fits a person. It's like 2 meters long, which fits me fine. The length isn't the problem, but it's like very slim. Just uncomfortable, man. I like a mattress. Sue me, I like to sleep on a mattress that is like this thick. Anyway, but it's fine. It was warm, and as long as it's warm, I don't care where I sleep. I just can't sleep if it's cold. But what I also need is a pillow to lay on with my head, a pillow to have in my arms, which is currently the round white cat with the black eye that you've probably seen before in my videos. That one to hold, because I like to hold a pillow. And then another pillow to put between my knees, because I sleep on my side. And the feeling of having like your knees like do this in the night is the worst. But I also don't want to like lay them on top of each other because that's uncomfortable too. So I just put a pillow in between. Usually, there's a bug in here. What are you, dude? Huh. Okay, he can chill here. He seems fine. Dude, yesterday when I like undressed, I took off my shirt in here and I looked up and there was a spider like this big right above me. I killed it. I'm sorry, animal lovers, but I can't. Like, I would love to be able to pick them up and throw them outside, but I just can't. I'm so fucking scared of them. Anyway, there's a bag full of pillows then. And like my own sleeping bag. Sorry, I eat the dead skin off my scalp. Sue me. My own sleeping bag, and then a second sleeping bag that doesn't have a bag. Because you know how you, like, whenever you have a sleeping bag, they're, like, compressed in those tiny little mini sausages. So you can carry it around. And it's always a hassle to, like, when you pull out the sleeping bag and then you have to put it away and you have to, like, quickly shove it in there. Anyway, the other sleeping bag doesn't have the bag anymore. It, like, disappeared after the last time I used it. My bed is on my mother. She had it last, so. But I had 2 sleeping bags because for one night, we invited a new friend who, like, promptly slept there in our tent as well. And he has a car, so he just drove me up to my house, and I was like, hey, I can give you a second sleeping bag. And then I got the second sleeping bag, and I had to, like, put an elastic cord around it so that it would, like, hold in place. So it's like a normal size sleeping bag and a sleeping bag that is, like, trying to keep itself together as much as possible, with even more clothes shoved into it, and then held together by this elastic band. So the entire thing is like this big, so it's like I have to hold it like this. So backpack, that monstrosity, tote bag, another pillow, a bunch of dirty clothes, my boots, who are still caked in dirt. Because if you remember, the mud. They're still caked in mud and they're downstairs and I still haven't cleaned them. Ugh. Damn. Yeah, anyway, and then, so, I got home and I wanted to dye my hair brown. And I wasn't sure if the brown hair dye that I got the week before, I got 2, like, packets of it. This is the second one. It's a little bit too dark. You probably won't notice the difference if you're just looking at me like this. But if you see some like older videos, you can probably see that my hair is just a little bit lighter. And that's because this isn't my natural hair color. There's actually also still some green bluish coming through. I'm not sure if you can see it on video, but if I look in the mirror and I can see it, it's like definitely evident. Like, boy, that was blue. Like, up here, there's also a streak that's, like, a darkish green. Or, like, here. It's, like, really, really coming through. which is fine. Like at first glance, you literally can't tell. Like you can't tell in the pictures either. But yeah, I used this bit too dark, kind of, well, but I bought 2 of them because I wasn't sure. So I was scared that the coverage wasn't going to be good enough and that I would have like a weird muddy dark blue in the end, which I also don't want. So I had those already prepared up here. But I also still had to eat dinner because the last time I ate that day was at 2 p.m. when I woke up, because the last 2 nights before we were awake until sunrise, like drinking and singing and having fun, normal Viking stuff. And usually you wake up with before the tourists who come in at 11. And that day I was like, fuck this. Vikings sleeping too. And so I slept until 2. And then I had breakfast, which was like 1 bread bun with a tiny sliver of the last bit of chocolate spread that we had. It gives me the energy of the morning, okay? I have a pimple or something here. Weird. Yeah, there's another bug. They're like friends. And so I was like, okay, stat, the most important thing that I need to do is dye my hair. What else do I need to do? Wash my clothes. And so the first thing I do, take off my boots, go into the washroom, put everything that I possibly can fit into the washer, including the clothes that I had on. So I was just walking around in my binder and like my boxers by the end of it. And then I was like, all right, cool. That's in there for 2 hours. I got my food ready, which my mom was so kind to leave some food out from their dinner. And so I like plated it and I threw it in the microwave for like 6 minutes or so. So I would have some time to go upstairs and put my things away that I didn't need to wash, and also get the bathroom ready. And then just also like take a breather, like have a piss, you know? And so I went back downstairs when I finally had my food ready, and I got it, I covered it in a plate and a towel, and I put it upstairs and I put it under my blanket in my bed so it would stay warm, because my plan was to put the food there, have it warmly incubated so that I could do my hair, because I also still needed to shower, because, whoa, who would think that spending a week just hanging out outside with the only access to like water being a blue plastic toilet that has a pump sink in it with cold water, no soap. You're not gonna have any skincare in there, which is why I still have like a bunch of pimples up here. Luckily my skin is really fast in getting and like having pimples stop. So basically all these evenings I've just been washing my face and like using this stuff. It's really good. It just like moisturizes the skin and that makes the pimples go away. So yeah, but also now my nails are like black again. But my fingernails and my toenails, dirt. So much of it. Because like at some point, if every single day you're touching stuff that's super dirty, and you don't want to spend like a half hour every night cleaning out your nails. And so at some point you're just like, fuck it, I'll just leave it and we'll get to it when we get to it, which is Sunday. And also, from cleanup, within dirt and mud, I had dirt up to like my arms, like just splotches of it everywhere. In my face too, because sometimes you scratch your face with your dirt hands. And oh yeah, not to forget, my favorite sweatpants, they were caked in mud up to like here. Okay, maybe not caked, but there was so much splatter on it, it was horrible. I swear it's still in the fibers. So the first thing I think I did was, I'm pretty sure I like washed my hands and my face really quick in the sink to like get the biggest parts of dirt off first. And then I started on with my hair. So at that point, I was already just like all clothes gone. Just in the bathroom, on the floor, just going like, trying to get the best coverage of that shit as fast as possible, because then it needs to be left in for 30 to 40 minutes. And that time I would be able to use for clearing out like my nails, which did take really long, and also cutting my nails and stuff, doing a little manicure, pedicure, that stuff, which I then continued to do. And then I like would just sit on my phone sometimes as well, because I hadn't checked Instagram in days, you know? Horrible. And then while the hair finished, I finally was able to wash out the dye, and then put in like the care product that they give you in like the little silver tube as well. Put that in my hair, tie my hair up, and then shower for the first time. And try not to hit my hair too much, because if like, I don't know, if the care product gets out too early, maybe the dye won't be as good. But yeah, so I finally got to shower and like clean my body fully, and it felt so good, dude. Oh my God. Showering after not having showered for like 5 days is like the best, because I did leave the market for like 2 nights because I was meeting some friends. Actually, I think it may have been 3. I forget, but I showered once during that time. You know, to like reset the dirt levels. But it felt so good, dude. It was so good. I think that I probably wouldn't spend like a week in the dirt and mud again for a while, but like I'm already excited for next year, just like the feeling of coming home and then being able to shower and get all the dirt off you is honestly magical. It's so nice. But back to why I was even on a time crunch. You remember my appointment 11 a.m. next morning, which means I would have to get up around 10:30-ish, because I was gonna go with the bus. So I would first have to get to the bus station and catch the bus and take the bus and hope the bus is not late, because if I'm getting my picture taken, I don't want to go with my bike, because then my hair will be like this when I get there, you know? And so I had to take the bus, which luckily the bus schedule worked out with that. So I have to drive the bus. I did not have to drive the bus. I had to take the bus at 11 to be there at 11:10, which is exactly the time when I needed to be walking into the building, to have my picture taken and my ID made. And so that's why I'm like, I need time to sleep, because I don't want the dark circles in my eyes to get even darker and then like show up on my ID and I look like I haven't slept in 100 days. Which you can't even see them that much. I'm not heavy on the dark circles, so you can kind of see them, but it's fine. But I didn't want to like look all groggy and like shit for my picture. And so I was kind of on a time crunch. I was like, I know I'm going to scroll my phone for an exorbitantly long time tonight, because I haven't been on my phone this long in days. I need social media. Yeah, basically that. And so I was like, I'm trying to aim for going to bed / being in bed, not sleeping, around midnight. And I think at that point, when I was done with all of that, was like 11:30 or so. So I was still pretty much in schedule. And then after I got done with my shower, I also still had to like wash the care product out of my hair and do all of that, and dry it to like see if it looked good, because I wasn't sure if the cut was good, you know? And in the end, I dried it, and then I cut off a little off the side so it would look normal and stuff. Just look pristine on the ID that I'm gonna have to use for the next 10 years. So yeah, all that was done. By that time, I think, honestly, it must have been midnight or after midnight, because I remember, I think before I ate, or was it after? No, I think it was after I ate. So then I finished with my hair and stuff, and then I put on my like PJs, which was crazy, by the way, because in the tent, to not get cold, I would sleep in a shirt, a t-shirt, and then a hoodie on top, and then these sweatpants, and then 2 pairs of wool socks, because I am so scared of being cold at night out there, because then I can't sleep. And so just sleeping in like just a t-shirt and like boxers was crazy for the first night. It was so comfy because it was like I'm wearing basically nothing, but it's still warm. What? Yeah. And then I finally ate the damn noodles that I had literally waiting under my blanket, and they were still warm, so my process was honestly immaculate. They were still a good warmth to eat. I picked out a YouTube video and I sat down on my bed and I watched the YouTube video and I finished my meal. And I went downstairs to do the second load of laundry because the first time the white clothes, the white hoodie that I wore at night, got dirt on it because my friend from the tent accidentally stepped on it while my stuff was like on the floor in a pile. She accidentally got her friggin' rain boot on it. She got a rain boot on my white hoodie. And then also the like linen clothes that I wore, which are like they're like off-white. They were also full of shit. And so I had to wash all of those again and do some other laundry that was also white for my family. And I was like, okay, time for a second round of laundry. Put everything on the thing because I didn't want it to get moldy overnight. Put everything on the clothes rack, turn the next thing, and then go upstairs and finally just hang out. And then my hair was done, everything was done. Finally, I could just lay down and be on my phone. And then the next day, I go to the building. I get there perfectly on time. I even have like a couple minutes to sit outside of the bureau that I'm gonna need to go into. And I'm like, this is so good. I know exactly what I'm doing. They're gonna take my picture. I look pristine. I look immaculate. My hair is so brown. It's not gonna look weird. The cut is nice. My clothes are nice. I put on a collared shirt for that. Everything was going great. And then I was inside of the room and the dude greeted me, first of all calling me ma'am, and I was like, shit. And then while I sat down, he was in there. He also did my last ID 2 years ago, because that was 2 years ago when I renewed my ID after having it with like a picture of like 7-year-old me on it for a while, I think. And he was also the same guy. I don't think maybe he recognized me. I had a similar haircut, just shittier. I'm not gonna put a picture up because this video is half an hour long already, and I'm not gonna import that shit into CapCut and then export it, dude. It looked fucked up though. I don't care if he recognized me or whatever, because my name had already been changed at that point. And then he was there and he had like a boy there too. There was just like a guy, and I'm like, okay, he's doing a placement here. Great. Just a random blonde boy that's like, hello. And I'm like, hey, you're gonna know about my details now. And so it's so bad because every single time it's like a big table. You sit here, the dude that's gonna change your details and do all your shit sitting here, and his monitor is like this high. I could see like the top of his head, only, while he's asking me like if I'm still the same height and shit. And then I was like, hey, by the way, are you aware that like my name got changed and stuff? Because he called me ma'am, and I was like, hold on. I didn't blatantly correct him like that, but I was like, yeah, that's why. So some details are gonna have to be changed. And he was like, oh, okay, got it. And then he showed me the details. Was like, sign this to confirm. And I was like, oh, that's correct, baby. And they have a Wacom. They have a Wacom, literal, it's a screen tablet. They have this size screen tablet in their stupid bureau, and you can't even smoothly sign your name on it. Guys, you got a screen tablet for this. You got a screen tablet so people can sign like one thing. Put a stabilizer on that baby. My signature was looking like this. And it's not because I don't know how to use a pen tablet. I have one in my house. I get mad every single time I'm there. Anyway, they also have a fun little they have like a device that's like this big, and you put your fingerprint on it because they don't do it with ink anymore. They do like a digital fingerprint, like scans your fingerprint. It's crazy. yeah, and then I signed all that stuff, and he was like, so do you have a picture? And I was like, no. Over the phone, I was told that you would do one here. And he's like, okay, as far as I'm aware, we're having a technical issue, which is why currently we are not capable to take ID pictures in-house. And I was like, oh my God. Please tell me this dude just doesn't have the actual info and the person on the phone has the actual info and he just isn't up to date. And I was like, okay, do you mind checking? And he was like, okay. And he looked and he checked and he was like, yeah, no, we can't. And I was like, I'm gonna turn into the Joker. No, I did not say that. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, all right, you're gonna have to go up to like the city. I didn't even hear half of what he said because I'm sorry, but he does have a thick accent. I think he's Indian. I mean, his name sounds like that anyway. So he has like an accent when he speaks German. And he is able to be understood, but sometimes I'm just like, what'd you say? Like, especially if it's like a word that I haven't heard before, which can happen in like legal contexts, because I'm not super well versed in all that stuff. So sometimes he just says things and I'm like, huh? Yeah. Obviously, I'm not agreeing to anything that I don't understand, but like sometimes it just be like that, you know? And then I think he told me that I have to go into the city to one of two photographers and they're going to give me a thing that has a QR code, and the QR code thing I have to give them back. And I was like, okay, man, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have my picture taken. And then he was like, swipe your card, because getting a new ID in Germany costs 22 euros and 80 cents. Remember that. And I was like, let me pay with card. Because asking them to change my name and putting in the request paper also already cost me 50 euros. So by now I've spent, how much is that? I don't even like visualizing it. I've spent 72 euros and 80 cents on getting one name and one gender marker changed. It's fine. And then I had to go to a photographer who charged me another 22 euros to have 4 pictures taken and get a QR code. And then I walked on home and I was like, and I didn't even walk home. I went to the park and I sat on a bench and I drafted a comic for like 45 minutes after sending a voicemail to my mom that was like, hey, here's the situation. Do you mind covering this for me? And she was like, okay. And then she did. So yeah, that day I spent nearly 45 euros in like a matter of not even an hour. And it pisses me the fuck off. Because now, in the entirety of money that one would have to spend if they didn't have a mother covering some of theirs, it would be $50 for the mere, hey, can I do this? $22.80 for the new ID that you're gonna need, that you have to get, obviously, because you can't just be walking around with like an ID that doesn't have the info of the system. Which, however, if I'm at $72.80, and then if your place can't take a picture for you because their cameraman fell down the stairs or whatever, that's another 22 euros in my city anyway. Last time, 2 years ago when I got my pictures taken, it was 15. It was 15 bucks. Anyway, inflation, 72 plus 22, 7, 8, 9. We are at 94 euros and 80 cents. I'm going to get a new birth certificate. That is 21 euros and 50 cents. What are we at right now? 94.80. 94 plus another 20 is 104 euros 80 plus 105 plus 50, that's 106 euros and 30 cents. 106 euros and 30 cents. And then you're going to need another document which is a copy of the info of what's inside of their system, because on your ID, it doesn't say, in Germany, you don't have a gender marker on your ID. It's just your name and where you're from. I don't know why we don't have that. I know in other countries it does. On a passport, I'm pretty sure there is a gender marker. And on your OWL birth certificate. But some other like institutions and places want to see a different document, which is a copy of their system. The bug just fell, which is a copy of the system, of what it says in their system, like your birthday, basically the same thing that are on like a, I don't understand why I need to get this other document, but over the phone they were like, yeah, this is really important. You should get this too on top of the new birth certificate, because some places want to see that. And I looked it up, and that may cost 18 euros, but it really depends where you're from. Because it's like, it depends which federal state you're in, because all these prices are different and they vary depending on which state you're in. Like my friend, for example, for her thing, she didn't have to pay 50, she had to pay 35, which is considerably less money. Anyway, and that thing may cost 18 bucks. So what are we at? 100 and, what did I say? 630 plus 18 is 6 plus 8, that is 14. 114 and 30 cents. So all of that to change one name and to change one F into one M in their system. Honestly, I don't want to do this no more. And it takes you months. It takes you weeks. I have to run after those people and keep being like, hey, can you give me this document? And the secretary woman, she always looks at me like this. Huh? What do you want, boy? I don't know. Go in there. Ask someone else. Fuck you. Get out of my house. That's how literally she acts and how she looks at me and everybody else. Everyone that I know that ever had to go there, like my mom and her boyfriend and like another friend of mine that used to work there, actually in her position as a secretary, everybody knows that she doesn't know shit and she's an asshole and nobody likes her and she's the secretary, so we all have to go like through her. She reminds me of this one character from Jim Knopf, which, what is that called? Do you people know what that is? Like the little boy and like the train conductor who are friends and they go on adventures together in their somewhat sentient train. Do you guys call him Jim Button? Jim Knopf und Lukas der Lokomotivführer bei Augsburger Puppenkiste. Vaguely racist, a little bit. They tried to be progressive because Jim is black. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah, she reminds me of a character in that. And the character is someone called Frau Malzahn, and she's a dragon school teacher who's like evil and at some point imprisons like a princess that they have to like save, that like Jim is in love with. I swear it makes so much more sense if you'd watched the puppet theater about it. So try doing that way, don't you? This is going to be my longest video. It's going to take ages to upload. It's going to be like 300 years. Oh my god. She reminds me of that dragon lady anyway, because she's just mean and she keeps wanting to put people in detention and stuff like that. And like, I'm pretty sure she eats students or something as well. I need to watch that again. The DVD is somewhere in our house, but I don't know where ever since we moved. Anyway, I've spent so much money on this. So like, and I'm gonna spend more money on it. I need to get like a new bank card and shit like that, like a new debit card with a new name on it. I'm gonna have to change all of my like account shit and whatnot, and wherever I've made an account. The train ticket that I use has my dead name attached to it. I'm gonna have to cancel the train ticket and then like get it again on a different name so that when they check my ID it's correct and I don't get arrested. Oh my god. What are you? What bug are you? He doesn't have problems like me. Go home. Hello? Are we friends? It's making noise, but it's not a mosquito. Hey, but he's like waving to me. High five. Oh, he didn't like that. Go home. Anyway, that's what I've been doing, and I'm so sick and tired. I've had to go on like subreddits, hashtag r/German trans, and like ask there and be like, hey guys, this document, what is that? And apparently I had the wrong name for it in the beginning. I'm gonna have to go back there and ask again. I'm tired of going there. I think I'm just gonna start writing emails. And then there's the whole thing about the fact that I wasn't born in the village that I live in. I have to go contact a different like bureaucracy building where I was actually born. Which I can't just drive there and like walk in and be like, hey, because that's gonna take me 2 hours. So I'm gonna have to call them tomorrow and be like, hey guys, what's up? This is such a friggin' annoying thing, and you could like make it so much easier by just, because you call, you ask for the paper to change your things, you receive the paper in the mail, you send it back, you give it, I think you have to give it back in person, and then you get informed of the process. Not enough though. You get informed of the process, and then you wait 3 months to think over your decision. After those 3 months are over, you have to go back, and by then they should have already like changed your name and your assigned gender marker. But if you were born somewhere else, they have to contact the other place and have them do it until they're doing it. No one knows what's happening. And after that, everything gets lost, because then, at least for me, I had to call them. I had to call the bureaucracy building and be like, hey guys, have you finished that yet? Just change it. Send me an email. You know where I live. Send me mail. Please just inform me when you're done so I can immediately do everything else. Because it's going to take me another 2 to 3 weeks for the ID to be printed. But at least, hey, at least this time, they're going to let me know via post when I can pick it up. I'm going to get a letter in the mail, and it's going to say, pick up your ID. And I'm going to say, yes, sir. This time I don't have to call them and ask every few days. And why don't you just put together a little packet that's like, hey, would you like to purchase this packet of this and this and this document? Like, here, new birth certificate. Here's the document that officially says that you changed your gender. And here's the other document, which is the thing in our system. And let's put it all together and do like a combined price. Like a combined price of all those things together. And then you can just just order that from us. And we'll get it to you. And then we will mail it to you whenever you want. And that way, I don't have to come into your stupid bureau every few days and ask, can I get this? Do I need an appointment for this? Over the phone you said I don't need an appointment, but do I? Because you're looking at me like I'm not supposed to be here. Also, apparently you're not open today, but on the internet it says you are. So what's the truth here? I wish so bad these things were easier. And it's so easy to make them easier. Literally just attach everything. Just make it like as soon as they change my name, let me know via post. And then if you really want me to do everything else, I can also go there and make an appointment to get a new ID, and then we can make the new ID, and then maybe once I'm done with, like, in the same appointment where I get my new ID, I could request a new birth certificate and the other 2 documents in like the same breath. And then you could fix those documents up for me. And since you know where I live, you could send me another letter with all those documents. And wouldn't that be so great? I think so. It is just such a hassle. Like, the money, at least for me, isn't the biggest problem. It's the second biggest one. It's literally the biggest problem is the fact that I just have to run after them so much. And the fact that nothing is really that clear, because they don't really know what's going on. I don't really know what's going on. From my friend who used to be a secretary in this village, he said that there was around 4 to 5 outed trans people like 5 years ago when he worked there. And this law was introduced last year. So we don't, those people used to only be able to change like your, pretty sure those were people who had name changes, like first name changes, or maybe they had sex changes, I don't know. But back then you needed to have like, I'm pretty sure either like a therapist be like, yes, this person is transgender, yes, it would benefit them if we changed their gender marker. Because now you can just do that on yourself, on your own. And at that point, there were 5 people who had done that, around, less than 10 anyway. So I don't know how many other people besides me are going through this process in my hometown. But it can't be many because they don't know anything, you know? And it's so new that I can't just Google everything and like sort by my state, because it's different kind of in every state and it's different from building to building and it's really annoying. Anyway, 46-minute video. I think I'm done talking and I think I'm done standing in my bathroom, and my phone's also done. It's giving me a storage warning. Ow. Anyway, that's it. That was way longer than I actually wanted to talk about. Oh my god. Well, good night.